Honestly, a beard tan line. That's a pretty good call. So, hey, I know we have a hard break at the bottom of the hour.
Yeah.
So I'm going to talk about tan lines. It'd be much more pleasant, but I think we probably can dive in to the topic at hand. So, I guess from a high level, Jeff, to not beat around the bush on something, this is probably going to be a difficult conversation, and unfortunately, it's not going to end the way you probably want it to end. But it's one thing that are things that are in our control right now.
Mm-hmm.
Unfortunately, one of them's out of our control. So the home office, we had a conversation with them yesterday. So based off of not just that, but citing Article, I think it's Article 14 of our agent's contract, they're coming in and saying, hey, we're severing our relationship with Jeff Longmore. So that was a conversation Dave and I had with the home office yesterday. Unfortunately, there's not a lot that I can do about it. And I'm not in a position, I'm not kind of based on what's going on. I can't, it's not really the hill I can die on to say we gotta fight the powers that be on this one. In fact, in some ways, I tend to agree with them. It's really unfortunate if I don't disagree with the premise as to where they're coming from.
Because why?
What we can control, I think, is probably more beneficial in this side. Is there's two ways we can go about this. One would be kind of like a scorched earth type mentality where it tends not to go well. I think in this environment, and especially Northwestern Mutual and being a large company and saying like, hey, this is very important to us. I don't feel like that's a fight we're probably going to win, or I don't think it's a fight you're probably winning.
So why are they deciding to sever relationships?
But do you want me to read David has the article in front of him.
No. Why is Northwestern deciding this?
Number 14 of the contract is citing conduct, and it basically states it says exactly the agent shall comply with all applicable laws, regulations, and company policies, and shall act in such manner as to not affect adversely the business, good standing, or reputation of the agent, first party, district agent, general agent, or the company, or any of its subsidiaries or affiliates.
So because I'm sustaining and upholding and honoring the law by backing our police, then they're wanting to sever a relationship with me.
Yeah, once again, Jeff, I think reasonable minds could probably look at things differently. I don't want to get sucked into one specific instance, although obviously that was the catalyst that moved things along pretty quickly. So I think reasonable minds can look at something differently. I'm saying if you said, hey, I want to fight the home office on this one, and I want to put my argument here, and they're going to put their argument there, I don't think you're going to win that argument. And so that to me would be kind of a scorched earth, which you're more than legally able to do if that's where you want to spend your energy and time and say, hey, I feel like I want to fight them on this one. I don't see them budging on this one. I think it's such a big issue, and the way that it went down, they need to take a kind of immediate, swift action to show that they take this thing seriously.
I don't even know how it went down. All I heard was David and I spoke for maybe 4 or 5 minutes yesterday, so I don't even know all the details of it.
But I mean, I can give you kind of a 10,000 foot on a couple different things. One is yesterday I got notified about the video. I was trying to put my kids to bed. I wasn't avoiding your email. I just kind of slipped my mind. I also want to have this conversation kind of quasi face to face that I got notified of that at least 4 or 5 different times yesterday from different people. So 2.4 as of this morning, 2.4 million people have watched that.
Right.
And actually, to be kind of really easy about this, John Schlitzky got a direct message about it. And so at that point, that kind of went through legal, and it was all happening at the exact same time. We're getting phone calls from the home office, from their market conduct group, while I'm getting text messages from people, not all just Northwestern Mutual people, saying, this guy's in your office. Like 2.4 million people watch something, it's good or bad, it's gonna have an issue. In this scenario, based off of, but that being said, that's not, I think it's a larger issue than just one simple thing. Now, once again, you're perfectly capable of going to an attorney and saying, hey, look, this is what I did. I was supporting the police, and the company wrongfully terminated me. And if that's the fight you want to fight and where you want to put your energy and money, I don't think it's a very strong argument. I think the company right now is protecting their brand so tightly, especially in this environment, that they're not going to back down on that one.
Even though I didn't mention anything about Northwestern Mutual. It was on my own personal time. They don't care.
No, and I think
Unfortunately, a lot of people figured out your Northwestern Mutual pretty quick. That wasn't a very well it's unfortunate. It's not very well. It wasn't a very well hidden secret with how fast I circled back to that. This is Jeff Longmore, works for Northwestern Mutual. Messages to the CEO of the company, that type of stuff. So I do want to get back to one point. I do think there's two things that are actually. I mean, you and I could sit here and we can talk this, and I think honestly, reasonable minds could look at something differently and be like, it's very unfortunate. But I don't think I'm in a position, or you're in a position, probably to win this argument with the attorneys that say, hey, from a brand perspective, we're not into this thing. The second thing would be, hey, we can either do, I don't know what they can do a mutual termination for cause, which they don't take lightly. I've never even seen them do it in my 6 years being here. 18 years, we had a guy that was forging his CE back in Minnesota, and I think that was a termination for cause. But barring something like that, they typically don't do it. They usually say, hey, try to do a mutual termination. So they came to us yesterday and said, hey, we're going to send out a termination for cause. We said, hey, let's talk to Jeff. Let's see if we can just say, hey, why don't we just part amicably, do a mutual termination. There's no reason for this thing to be on someone's U5. There's no reason to make it so it's an issue so that he can't go provide for his family. There's no, our relationship has always been cordial. We've never been adversarial towards each other. And I'm like, let's just talk about it and let's see if we can figure out a way that's easier than a termination for cause, which is not fun. I mean, termination for cause means it goes on your U5. And it's gonna be hard to stay in the industry with a termination for cause. Not impossible, but you're gonna definitely have to explain this all to whoever you chat with next. And there's no so mutual is better, but ultimately that's kind of your decision. You say, hey, listen, I'm not gonna admit any fault in this thing, and you want it on the record that you didn't admit any fault and the home office just terminated you. I guess mutual doesn't say I admitted any fault. It just says for really just no reason whatsoever, we mutually decided to terminate our relationship. That's the end of it.
Yep.
The other one's going to start citing reasons. And they have to say, like, hey, because of number 14 of the agent contract, actions detrimental to the brand of Northwestern Mutual, we terminated him for cause. So that's kind of the decision we can actually, that's what we can control. I can't control the first part of the decision.
So when does this become effect then?
Essentially immediately.
No.
Well, so I guess that's next 10 minutes. We just got to think through logistically, and which one makes the most sense. I mean, do we feel like it makes that sense to, hey, let's sign a mutual and kind of agree to disagree, but kind of sweep this under the rug and let you kind of move on with your life, or do we want to say, hey, listen, I'm not going to play that, and we'll have the home office they'll send out a termination for cause, and we'll let them kind of deal with it, and if you want to take legal action against them, I guess that's your prerogative to do so. What do you think makes the most sense?
I don't know. I don't know really the difference between either one of them. What's going to be in my best interest? Yeah, I mean, I can give you my advice, and whether you believe me or don't believe me, I guess that's you probably at this point think that I'm a mole for the home office or something like that. I get from the tone of what I was hearing and just the environment that we're in, that the fact that they even allowed us to have a mutual termination and say we don't have to go through the thing of like that seems to be in the best interest, because you're able to move on and say, I left Northwestern Mutual. Say people leave all the time. Going to the next place you go, wherever you get picked up by, wherever you choose to go, independent, working with Mass Mutual, New York Life, Guardian, whoever you want to go to. They're probably not going to look into that too hard. There's really nothing there. It's just, hey, we decided that. Why would that be weird? The termination for cause thing does look bad. Like I won't say that you don't get them very often because they don't like to do them, but in this scenario, the fact that they even went down that route and said, hey, that we're going to send over the paperwork, but we don't even have the paperwork, by the way. It has to get issued by the home office. That tells you that they're pretty serious on this one and that they would be willing to. It's pretty clear cut. I mean, there's two things in the contract which are pretty clear cut. One is if the company deems that you did something that was
bad for the brand. It's in the contract that they can terminate the contract whenever they want the second they say, we invoke Article 14 of the contract, which says you did something that was detrimental to the brand. That's kind of hard to argue because it's their opinion. The other one is that by the contract, we can terminate the contract for no cause. And so we actually don't have to have a cause to terminate the contract. So you've seen around the country people get into legal battles. I've never seen anybody win one because the contract's pretty clear cut that as the Northwestern Mutual, they can terminate my contract whenever they want. They can terminate yours. I can terminate yours, and they don't have to have a reason. So I don't know why that would be a benefit. Allowing them to do that just seems like it would be bad, all bad. The other ones, it's like, it's not good, but it's definitely, hey, I lived to fight to see another day. You know, that's my opinion. One means you can pick up with another firm within a week and a half. We can try to process you, kind of fast track to U5. And that means this one. The other one means this thing's going to be slogged out for a couple of months.
So with that said, what am I going to do about getting my office stuff?
We'll take care of that.
All my furniture and everything.
Yeah, that's no problem. I can have Taya, or you can just work through us if you have a better way of doing it. But I can have Taya work on that and get it all packed up and get it over to you.
All my couches and carpet, rug, and fridge and pictures. Is that what you're talking about? Everything?
Yeah. Any of your personal items, you know, that'd be one of those things. I mean, we have to look at it. You know, Jeff, I know you've been through a lot of stuff here, and this is maybe another, feels like salt in the wound at some point. You've been through a lot over the last year, and I feel, the least I can do, I think, was saying, hey, how do we be as amicable on the way out the door? What I do is if we can get this thing done in a way that doesn't keep harming, you know, I don't want to spend any time making your life any harder. And so, I mean, the least I can do is I'll pay that. I'll pick up that cost personally to get your stuff and have it show up to your door. I'll pay for the mover. I'll deliver it. I mean, that's the least I can do. I'm not getting any joy out of having this conversation. I know we're in a better position. I know your life is dealt you some tough blows here recently. So the least I can do is make sure that that's not a bill that you're going to incur. I can take care of it, and we'll find a way to get it to your house. I mean, you can imagine our scenario in the home office scenario. Obviously, if the contract is terminated, there's also becomes you know, being in the office space, that type of stuff. So they're going to want you to head home and deal with trying to figure out is the mutual term or term for cause, put you in a better position. But ultimately, we'll take care of that, the furniture, that type of stuff. Let that be my problem, and we'll move as fast as we can on that. And ultimately, not ultimately, I mean, the request I would have would be if we can make this not a big deal and we can kind of keep it under the radar and just say, hey, you know what, Jeff has been, I think the terminology I would use anybody that asked would be, Jeff has been dealing with a lot over the last couple of years, and he chose to go down a different path and leave Northwestern. It was a mutual decision. It was not, the home office did not terminate him for cause. I didn't terminate him for cause. It was mutual, and that's that. We can move on. That's my company line, you know, on this deal. But obviously, if you're in the office telling everybody what happened, it's kind of hard for me to keep that line. So whatever we can do to say, hey, let's just let bygones be bygones, that would be in my best interest, ultimately.
So the two types, there's termination for cause, and the other one was
Just a mutual term.
mutual termination?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No cause, essentially. Yeah, it's just you chose to leave Northwestern. You know, the other one is Northwestern Mutual terminated you and they'll cite 14 in the cause. Obviously, they have to do that.
Okay. Alrighty.
But I really do wish you the best, and hopefully we can, you know, move through this and get you kind of back on your feet real quick. And whatever we can do to help you along the way, obviously we'll be here to help you along the way.
Okay. All right. Thanks, guys.
I appreciate you guys. Thank you. Have a good day.
Bye.